June 2011. LeBron James was supposed to be standing on top of the basketball world. Less than a year earlier, he had made the most controversial decision of his career. He left Cleveland. He joined Dwyane and Bosh and helped create a Miami Heat team that looked almost unfair. At their introduction, LeBron famously talked about winning championship after championship. Not one, not two, not three, not four. The message was obvious. Miami was not trying to build a championship. They were trying to build a dynasty. And yet somehow their first season ended with LeBron James standing on the court watching someone else celebrate. Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks had just defeated Miami in 6 games. But the craziest part wasn't that Dallas won. It was how they won. Because over 6 games, the Mavericks did something few teams have ever managed to do. They made LeBron James look ordinary. The player who had dominated the Eastern Conference suddenly looked hesitant, passive, uncomfortable, and sometimes completely disconnected from Miami's offense. LeBron averaged just 17 points per game in the finals. He scored only 8 points in Game 4. 8 points. This wasn't a 38-year-old LeBron. This wasn't an injured LeBron. This was a 26-year-old superstar entering what should have been the physical prime of his career. So you might be wondering what happened. Did LeBron simply collapse under pressure? Or did Dallas discover something about Miami that nobody else had figured out? Because when you actually study the 2011 finals, you realize something. The Mavericks didn't just beat the Heat. They built a blueprint specifically designed to make Miami uncomfortable. And in the process, they handed LeBron James the most humiliating loss of his career. And this is the story of the team that broke LeBron James. To understand why the 2011 finals mattered so much, you have to understand how badly people wanted Miami to lose. In 2010, LeBron made the decision. He announced that he was leaving Cleveland and taking his talents to South Beach. But he wasn't going alone. Miami already had Dwyane Wade. Bosh joined them. Suddenly, 3 franchise players were wearing the same uniform, and the NBA fans hated it. Miami immediately became basketball's villain. Every road game felt like an event. Every loss became national news. And LeBron James, arguably the most criticized athlete in American sports, was put under even more pressure. But underneath all the noise was a legitimate basketball question. Who was actually going to stop them? LeBron was entering his prime. Wade was still one of basketball's best players. Bosh was an all-star caliber big man. Miami had 2 devastating transition players, elite athleticism, and a defense capable of suffocating opponents. The regular season wasn't perfect. Miami started 9-8, but eventually everything started clicking. They finished the season 58-24, and then the playoffs started. Philadelphia, gone. Boston, gone. Chicago, gone. The Bulls had won 62 games. Derrick Rose was the league MVP. None of it mattered. Miami beat them in 5. The Heat had arrived, and waiting for them in the finals was a team almost nobody expected to be there, the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas wasn't constructed like Miami. There wasn't a big 3 in its prime. There weren't multiple young superstars. Instead, Dallas looked like a collection of veterans whose championship opportunity should have already passed. Dirk Nowitzki was 32. Jason Kidd was 38. Jason Terry was 33. Shawn Marion, 33. Peja Stojakovic, 33. And Dallas had already suffered years and years of playoff disappointment. The Mavericks had reached the finals in 06 and lost to Miami. Then came 07. Dallas won 67 games. Dirk won MVP. And the Mavericks were eliminated in the first round by Golden State. For years, the criticism followed Dirk. He's too soft. He couldn't win when it mattered. He's not a championship leader. Then the 2011 playoffs happened. Dallas beat Portland, then swept Kobe's defending champion Lakers. And then they went on to defeat Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, Oklahoma City Thunder. Think about that road to the finals. A young LaMarcus Aldridge, Kobe and Pau Gasol, Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. And now they have to face LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. Dallas wasn't surviving the playoffs. They were eliminating some of the biggest names in basketball, and the entire offense revolved around one nearly unsolvable problem: Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk presented Miami with a problem that was incredibly difficult to solve. He was 7 feet tall, but you couldn't defend him like a traditional 7-footer. You want to put a big man on him? Dirk could drag him away from the basket. Put a smaller defender on him? Dirk could simply shoot over him. You want a double team? Now Dallas could move the basketball and find shooters. And by 2011, Dirk had mastered one of the most unstoppable shots basketball had ever seen. The weird-looking one-legged fadeaway. He could establish position around the elbow, create separation with his body, and release the ball at a height almost nobody could even think of contesting. Throughout the 2011 postseason, Dirk was incredible. But Dallas's brilliance wasn't simply giving Dirk the ball. It was everything surrounding him. Jason Terry provided scoring. Jason Kidd organized the offense and stretched defenses. Sean Marion cut, defended, and attacked the gaps. Tyson Chandler gave Dallas rim protection, rebounding, and vertical pressure. Dallas had shooting, they had passing, they had size, they had experience, and most importantly, they had options. Miami had more raw star power. Dallas had a more complete ecosystem, and that distinction would become incredibly important. Initially, everything appeared to be going according to Miami's plan. The Heat won Game 1, then late in Game 2, Miami took a 15-point lead. The building was celebrating. Wade hit a 3 in front of Dallas' bench. LeBron joined him. It felt like Miami was about to take complete control of the series. And then everything changed. Dallas closed the game on a massive run. Dirk attacked Chris Bosh for the game-winning layup. Dallas stole Game 2, now the series is tied. That comeback completely changed the psychological tone of the finals. Miami responded by winning Game 3. Now they were up 2-1, and historically, that should have put them in an excellent position. But Dallas was beginning to understand something. Miami's half-court offense could be manipulated, and LeBron James could be made uncomfortable. And so this is where the series gets fascinating. Dallas wasn't going to stop LeBron by simply putting one defender in front of him, because nobody could. Instead, the Mavericks constantly changed what LeBron was seeing. Sean Marion spent significant time defending LeBron. Jason Kidd took some possessions. Deshaun Stevenson brought physicality. Behind them was Tyson Chandler protecting the paint. And Dallas occasionally mixed in zone concepts that cluttered LeBron's driving lanes. The objective wasn't necessarily stop LeBron. It was more of make LeBron think, show him bodies, take away clean driving lanes, force Miami into half-court possessions, make LeBron operate in areas where he wasn't yet completely comfortable. Remember what version of LeBron we're talking about. 2011 LeBron was already an unbelievable basketball player, but he wasn't yet the polished post scorer he would eventually become. His jumper could still become inconsistent. His back to the basket game wasn't fully developed, and Miami's spacing wasn't nearly as sophisticated as the spacing LeBron would play with later in his career. And so that means Dallas could shrink the floor. When LeBron drove, defenders were waiting. When he hesitated, Dallas recovered. And when he passed, Dallas was perfectly happy allowing someone else to make the decision. And that leads us to Game 4. This is the game that will forever follow LeBron James. Miami entered Game 4 leading the series 2-1. A victory would give them a commanding 3-1 lead. Instead, LeBron disappeared. 8 points, 3 for 11 shooting. He didn't score a single point in the fourth quarter, and Miami lost 86-83. But simply looking at the 8 points doesn't fully explain what happened. LeBron wasn't repeatedly attacking and missing. Sometimes he wasn't attacking at all. He became passive. He moved the basketball. He drifted away from possessions. And in critical moments, Dwyane Wade increasingly became Miami's primary offensive weapon. Wade was actually excellent in this series. He averaged 26.5 points per game, and that created an uncomfortable dynamic. Whose team was this? Was LeBron supposed to take control, or was Wade? Miami hadn't completely answered that question yet. Dallas exploited that uncertainty, and after Game 4, the series was tied. This is where the popular version of the story becomes too simple, because people say LeBron choked. And yes, LeBron deserves criticism. A player of his caliber cannot score 8 points in a pivotal finals game and escape responsibility. But there is another side to this. Dallas exposed weaknesses that were genuinely present in LeBron's game. Consider the problem. If a smaller defender guarded LeBron, what was the automatic counter? Today we would say, take him into the post. But LeBron hadn't fully developed that part of his game yet. If Dallas packed the paint, could he consistently punish them with pull-up shooting? Not enough. Could Miami surround him with 4 elite shooters and completely stretch the defense? Not with that roster. Dallas found areas where LeBron couldn't simply overpower the defense with athleticism, and LeBron didn't have enough counters yet. That's what made this series so important. Dallas didn't merely defeat LeBron, they exposed the things he needed to learn next. Game 5 became a shootout, and Dallas delivered. Jason Terry, huge. Jason Kidd made plays. JJ Barea attacked. Dirk continued producing. Dallas won 112-103. Suddenly, the supposedly unstoppable Miami Heat were one loss away from elimination, and the series was returning to Miami. This was supposed to be LeBron's moment. Chance to answer every critic, a chance to force Game 7. Instead, Dallas finished the job. Game 6 was strange because Dirk initially couldn't buy a basket. He struggled badly in the first half. This should have been Miami's opportunity, but Dallas had something Miami didn't. Enough contributors to survive when its superstar struggled. Jason Terry went for 27 points. JJ Barea scored 15. Deshaun Stevenson hit important shots. Dallas kept coming. Then Dirk recovered in the second half. Miami couldn't. Dallas won 105-95. The Mavericks were the NBA champions. Dirk Nowitzki finally had his ring. Jason Kidd finally had his ring. Dallas had completed one of the greatest postseason runs of the modern era. And LeBron, he walked off the floor with the basketball world ready to destroy him. 6 games, 17.8 points per game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and only 8 points in Game 4. But here's the number that became especially damaging. LeBron only scored 18 total points in the fourth quarters across 6 games. For somebody who was supposed to become basketball's next great closer, it was devastating. Jason Terry had even publicly questioned whether LeBron could defend him for an entire series. And instead of LeBron silencing him, Terry helped close Miami out. The criticism became brutal. People questioned LeBron's mentality, his leadership, his clutch ability, whether he could ever become Michael Jordan, whether joining Miami had actually made things worse. For the first time in LeBron's career, physical dominance wasn't enough to answer the questions. And that's exactly what happened. This is why 2011 Mavericks are so important to basketball history, because the LeBron James who lost to Dallas wasn't the same LeBron who came back. He worked on his post-game. He became more comfortable operating from different spots on the floor. Miami redesigned portions of its offense. The Heat gradually embraced smaller lineups and better spacing. LeBron became more willing to punish smaller defenders inside. And mentally, something changed too. He stopped trying to play the role everyone expected from him. He simply started dominating. The following season, League MVP, NBA champion, Finals MVP, and then he did it again in 2013. And perhaps the clearest demonstration of his transformation came during the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. Miami was facing elimination against Boston, Game 6 on the road, the type of moment where the basketball world expected another collapse. LeBron responded with 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists. Miami survived, won Game 7, then defeated OKC in the finals. The player Dallas exposed had now evolved. And this is where history has been unfair to the Mavericks. People remember 2011 as the finals LeBron choked in, but that description almost erases the team that beat him. Dallas defeated a 48-win Portland team, sweeping the defending champion Lakers, beat Durant, Westbrook, and Harden, then defeated LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. They went through an absurd collection of talent. Dirk averaged 26 points per game during the postseason. Tyson Chandler anchored the defense. Jason Kidd remained an elite basketball mind even at 38. Jason Terry delivered enormous shots. Shawn Marion took the difficult defensive assignments. JJ Barea became an unexpected problem. Rick Carlisle constantly adjusted. This wasn't some lucky team that happened to catch LeBron playing badly. Dallas was incredibly intelligent, experienced, deep, and adaptable. They recognized Miami's weakness and attacked those weaknesses. So did the Dallas Mavericks break LeBron James? For 6 games? Maybe they did. They took away his comfort, they exposed weaknesses in his offensive game, they forced Miami into uncomfortable decisions, and they handed the most talented player in basketball the worst playoff defeat of his career. But there's irony to this story. Dallas may have broken LeBron, but they also helped build a version of LeBron everyone remembers today. Without 2011, maybe there isn't the same postgame. Maybe there isn't the same urgency. Maybe there isn't Game 6 performance against Boston. Maybe LeBron never develops the counters that eventually made him one of the most complete offensive players basketball has ever seen. The 2011 finals became the lowest point of his career and simultaneously the beginning of his transformation. Dallas won the championship, Dirk completed his legacy, and LeBron learned a lesson that would shape the next decade of basketball. Sometimes the most important loss of your career is the one that forces you to become somebody different. The Mavericks didn't end LeBron James' story. They forced him to rewrite it.